That's how you discover yourself, right? You have these impulses as inspirations, and you follow through. You learn, you grow, and it reminds me of a quote, Romans. I don't quite remember the number, but it's in Romans, and it's, "Do not conform to the ways of the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." And I always found that recently that I stumbled upon this like a couple months ago, and it's like become one of my favorites because it makes so much sense. Do not conform. Do not listen to what other people are telling you, or what, follow yourself. Transform your mind by be renewed by the transformation of your mind, which is seeing that we are living in this world of programs. The mind runs off of programs. Seeing that for what it is, now you start seeing the symbolism, or would you call it scrying, and seeing the symbols, and seeing that life is here for you if you want to choose to see it that way. Everything's happening for you, not to you, right? It's just all about that shift of perspective, that renewing of the mind by foregoing, or at least holding the option to forego and question everything that we soak in as a sponge when we're in our formative years. And so it's like that is one of the things of life, the goals, the quests, the missions, whatever you want to call it, the purposes of life is to, it's like we're thrust into this world, buried underneath all these programmings, and then we have to dig through it to actually find our essence of what we are intended to be expressed. And so, like you said, following those intuitive impulses, to be inspired, to find your own inspiration, because to be inspired, like you say, is to be in spirit. And like that's like the purpose, the goal. And it's all connected to programming, because that's what you have to dig through to find that essence of self, to find that expression. You have to dig through all these programmings. And so it's like, so don't treat it as bad as well. Like, like, oh, those bad guys, they were just out to manipulate us and they took advantage of us. I mean, yeah, there's places for that, but also recognize that if everything is divine and everything happens for a reason, then that's part of the class. The class was the buildup of this thing, this hierarchy of manipulation that manipulated the consciousness for the sake of the consciousness to grow, the people to grow and to find their own power by meeting this resistance of not knowing power, or to have it hijacked by a bunch of stories. So it's quite fascinating, the whole story idea, myths, and all these things that basically like have this influence of what we as a species perceive of this great psychedelic phenomenon that we call life.